Hi everybody, this is Black Runner Ranger, doing yet another commentary on my animations. This time we're focusing on Cynderscope, a series of animations I did which focus on a horoscope. Hope you know Aquarius, Pisces, and stuff like that. And Cynder is the one doing all the typing with some magical paper and the typewriter thing. This was also meant as a reference to the Ed, Ed, and Eddie episode Truth or Ed. You know, Eddie makes up these lies, but the lies that Cynder makes up, they come true in the magical paper. So, let's see here. She gets the paper, she gets the typewriter thing, and keep in mind this is in 13 parts. She starts typing Cynderscope by Cyndee Louper. This is a reference to two names. Cyndee Louper from the singer of Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. And it's also Cyndee Louper. It's like a parody of Cyndee Louper and Cyndee Lou. You know, that little girl from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And the one who saw Santa, who's actually the Grinch. Now, some of you are probably asking me, oh, you're having Cynder doing a typewriter thing. Why doesn't she use her phone instead? Do people read the newspapers? Yeah, it was not that consistent, but it was just something I want to do for some reason. Can you break continuity and logic or a piece of the character to tell a joke as long as it's funny? Yes. Yes. Can you get away with a character who's a jerk in your cartoon, who's nothing but a sadistic man as long as he's funny? Yes. But yeah, they are difficult. You have to really and this type of humor is subjective. So here we have Aquarius, Thumpback, and Popfizz. They represent Aquarius. The reason why I chose them as Aquarius because I do sometimes see the symbol characters as part of their constellation, what they represent. Like Aquarius is the water carrier, Pisces is the fish, Leo is the lion, Scorpio is the scorpion. Since Aquarius is the water carrier, I know two characters Skylanders who can carry something liquid-like. Thumpback, who can spew out water from his mouth, and Popfizz, who carries liquids in his bottles. So, anyways, according to this, Aquarius, every day, every male of this sign will turn into a female version of themselves, and they will see a guy of their dreams. And by guy, I mean an ugly guy who appears in your nightmares while you sleep. And if you turn upside down, it says, "Be glad this wears off in a day." So, blah, 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 he reads all that, and, woo, there's Popfizz has changed, and Thumpback has changed. Later that night, the guys that transformed into the girls are sleeping. What would they dream about that was ugly? Ugly Bob! Oh, he looks like somebody trying to pull up a forest fire with a screwdriver. He's hideously ugly, and he slept with Celine Dion. They're going to have a freak baby. Even Saddam Hussein thought he was ugly and thought all Canadians looked alike. I'm sorry if I offended anybody who was from Canada. I'm just referring to that one South Park episode back in the 90s. Tune in next month for Cynderscope by Cyndee Louper. Anyways, where are the other shorts? Sometimes the playlist does not focus on where you were playing earlier. Let me try this. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it either. There's the Pokemon stuff. In fact, I made another one in the middle of my Pokemon countdown, which I probably am not going to do right at this month, but I'll probably do so in a later time. Cynderscope, and this time we're focusing on Pisces. There's the typewriter thingy and stuff like that. Oh, did I make a little error on that paper thing? His Gilgrunt and Riptide, the fish, just like Pisces. One pinch of a Eurypterid, which is a sea scorpion, will make you hallucinate like you're seeing another sea creature who has an interest in you. Since Gilgrunt got crunched by a Kerrygotus, I believe, and then he's seeing Jackie Lynn Thomas as a mermaid. And then he hits the hearts thing and he rips it. Though I probably should have chose somebody else instead of Jackie Lynn Thomas, considering that she is 14, and Gilgrunt is most likely a grown-up. In fact, almost all the Skylanders are perhaps grown-ups. Yeah, especially Sonic Boom, since she is a mother, so, oops. And then Riptide got pinched by the same Pterygotus. And then it's the Liplorodon. He's scared. I think I didn't do very good with trying to zoom in the Liplorodon part. Maybe I should have redrawn the entire thing. Anyways, next up is Aries. Now, this is my sign. In fact, I was born on the last day of Aries. And he's represented as the ram. And I used to live in Derby a lot, and he used to celebrate that with the football. He used to have Derby Rams. Here's Spyro reading from the book. It was reused from my 12 Days of Christmas animation, where Spyro was reading a book. Aries, a purple dragon born in the sun, will fall in love with the first black dragon he meets. Still trying to get Spyro to love you, hey Cynder? And then he falls in love with Rhino's cuddly Toothless. And Rhino's angry that this happened, so he starts digging down to the center of the earth. There's a treasure, Genie's lamp, skull, and a rest in peace thing. And there's the center of the earth, and we see two people from the center of the earth, Red Burger and Charlie Morningstar in her pilot form. Keep in mind, this was before the Amazon show came out. I managed to see the Amazon show finally, and I do think there is potential for a season. I think they should have made season 1 a bit longer. Just saying. I think the storytelling is a bit too quick. Perhaps if they added in an extra 2 episodes or even an extra 4 to 5 episodes, have it a complete 13 episode season, maybe there would be some sort of story structure, maybe a bit more build up before the war. Then over here we have Sisu from Raya and the Last Dragon, somewhere in Southeast Asia. Maybe it's in Malaysia, maybe it's in Indonesia, maybe it's in Thailand. And I drew her as soon as I saw Raya and the Last Dragon. It was the first cinema film I saw since onward, ever since the pandemic happened. He's doing a constricting on Spyro. Next up is Taurus, the bull. Although there are not many Skylanders who represent the bull, in fact, the reason why I chose Spyro and Frino to represent the rams is because of their charging abilities. In fact, Spyro has the Mega Ram ability in Skylander Swap Force, and Frino can charge, headbutt with his horns, just like a ram can as well. As for Taurus, since there is no official bull Skylander, I'm thinking, sorry, I bit my lip a bit, sorry. Since there is no official Skylander of the fire element, since there's no bull Skylander, no cattle Skylander, I decided to choose Tri-Tip, who's a Triceratops, and the Triceratops is said to be the bull of the dinosaur world. The other be Taurosaurus, which means bull lizard, and there's also and I also chose Headrush because she's got Viking horns, which make her look like a bit like a longhorned cattle or something. And there's also Magnacharge, who's also got horns on his head, a bit like a cow. And Tri-Tip is resting on the hammock. Taurus says, all creatures born in the sun had their horns replaced with something else. He looks in the mirror. His horns are Medusa-like, and he turned to stone. Gilgrunt is doing Galileo. Originally, I was going to do a longer separate version of that, where Gilgrunt is on the balcony, and he starts to drop. I actually thought of another version of that, where Gilgrunt actually drops the cannonball doing the Galileo, they fall at the same time thing. And one of the cannonballs drops on Cynder, and another drops on a Skylander soup. And he's like, I guess Galileo was wrong. The The big falling ball falls faster than the other object. The big object falls faster than the smaller object. For this occasion, he lets go of the ball, but they're stuck in midair, and they're flung towards magnet charge but there's actually attractable onto Headrush's new helmet, which is replaced with magnets. Next up is Gemini, and the ones I chose for Gemini are Double Trouble and Deja Vu, who are capable of duplicating themselves. I mean, Double Trouble can send little clones of himself, and Deja Vu can send in a time version of herself in different areas. Gemini, one look at the mirror reveals your worst nightmare so bad you will be wanting to leave this planet. So they look themselves in the mirror, and it reveals bad cook oil. This is actually referencing to the fact that me and my mom and my family are extremely picky when it comes to oils. Ever since we've been on the keto diet, we've also been cautious about what oils we use. We tend to go with stuff like olive oil or palm oil, or if we're out of oil, we just use butter or ghee. We tend to avoid stuff like sesame oil, rapeseed oil, vegetable oil, and oyster oil even. Oyster sauce even, because they're actually very bad for our bodies. They don't leave according to research, once you consume it, they don't leave your body for about 4 years, and you'll be experiencing cramps and stuff. Hence why I decided to make this Double Trouble's worst nightmare. His eye popped, and his entire body popped. What's Deja Vu's worst nightmare? I see nothing but Lynn Loud Jr. and her brother Lincoln Loud. Wait, why do they have those eyelids like that? You don't mean they, Oh no! Oh dear! They're not kidding. There are definitely fan arts of this all over the internet, and, I am not in support of this at all. I am not in support of this. I do love the Loud House, but even I am not afraid to admit the fandom can be quite insane at times. In fact, there is a very big insane side of the family that wants Chris Savino back, saying that the Loud House hasn't been the same without Chris Savino, despite the horrible things he has done to those poor ladies. He is living a more private life, and he has been remarried and is doing smaller projects, but please, fellas, if you're going to, you can love the Loud House all you want, but don't expect Chris Savino to ever come back. He's paid the price for what he has done, and now he has to wallow in it. And also, fellas, whatever you do, don't go stalking him, whatever. Don't go listening for every bath you take, every step he makes, and then suddenly report, say, bad news, he's on Facebook again, he's on Twitter again, he's gonna cause trouble now. No, don't do that, fellas. You're stalking him. What's worse, being a harasser or being a stalker of that harasser? Neither is better, in my opinion. Anyways, because of that, she has her eyes bulged up, and I'm melting! Oh, what a world. I'm not sure why the crab had to be named Cancer, since that's a name that's kind of cursed, and it's a bit of a curse to some folks I know. In fact, it was a curse to my grandaunt in 2015. May she rest in peace. And even to one of my aunts, who's my sister's cousin. And she left behind her offspring at age 4. So next up is Cancer with Whamshell and Lobstar, the only crustacean Skylanders. You see Whamshell eating vegetables. One bite of something you like transforms into something undesirable. Oh, and she's like, uh-oh. And suddenly it transforms to a candy cane. I have diabetes. Fun fact, some of my relatives actually do have diabetes, so this is me just spreading a little bit of awareness, and I thought Whamshell should also have some bit of that representation. Even though I do like candy, I am trying not to take too much of it anymore. I'm trying to cut down on the candy. parts. Otherwise, I might end up like my mother or anybody else who was a relative of mine. Maybe once a year or once every 6 months I can have a piece of candy, but that's about it. And also, I probably should have replaced it with meat because, fun fact, every single vegetable has a little bit of sugar in it, which can trigger even the highly sensitive of bodies. If you just go full carnivore, it's better for your system, especially if you're diabetic. That if you are a vegetarian, best take some cheese and eggs and maybe a little bit of fish. I mean, Weird Al is a vegetarian, but he takes a bit of cheese. Veganism, I hate to be a stickler for anybody who is a vegan, but veganism is not necessarily that great for the human body. You can do so if you want to. If you think killing animals or using their other stuff for animal products is wrong, I understand, but don't enforce it on anybody else. Let them decide if they want to be vegan or not. But for my advice, stick to a keto and or carnivore, or take some cheese or eggs if you're a vegetarian. I should have replaced it with meat. And speaking of meat, Lobster was about to take a bite of that burger, but then it changed. The browns start to turn green, and it looks like it's all vegetables. And he's like, must be PETA's doing. See, don't be like PETA. Don't try and enforce people to go vegan. Let them decide themselves. If you enforce people to, you're basically misunderstanding the human body, especially if anybody gets ulcerative colitis, like I used to back last year and a few years before. So, anyways, there's Leo. Another ad. Leo the Lion. There are only two. There's only one Skylander who's a lion. It's Wildfire. The other closest is Trap Shadow, who is based on a saber tooth. And you start reading the paper to a flyer. Watch out for the King of the Beast, and I'm not referring to lions. They are tiny compared to this guy. Then he gets stomped on by a T-Rex and by Godzilla, complete with the Jurassic Park T-Rex roar and the Godzilla roar. And there's the Olympics thing. Now over here we got Virgo. Now instead of two or three Skylanders, I have several different Skylanders playing this part. Virgos representing a virgin maiden. So who represents Virgo? So we have Ninjini, Rollerball, Barbella, Hex, and Trigger Happy, who I say are some of the more attractive Skylanders. And some of them do have their names and abilities which make me think of something virgin related, like Barbella. Bell means beauty, and her name is like a barbarian or something. And there's Rollerball, who one of her abilities is kissing in Superchargers. Ninjini is one of, if not my most favorite Skylanders. He's my most favorite giant. I have a bit of a crush on her. And Hex, I think she's a bit of a virgin, I think. And some people love Hex a lot, so I thought have her represent Virgo or something. As for Trigger Happy, I have him as a ladies' man, having to be with as many girls as possible. Like a Pepe Le Pew or Johnny Bravo. Happy opposite day! So what's the opposite? Ninjini is tiny. Barbella is all squishy, instead of hard like diamonds. Hex is no longer undead. She's cured of her undeadness from her Malefor backstory. And Rollerball isn't fast. She's slow. She's got a turtle on her head, just like Ed in For the Ed by the Ed. And it's the same book Sparrow was reading. It's the URA-OK, universally representing asexuality is okay, completely. It means, has Trigger Happy gone asexual? Even Sparrow is like, strange, I thought Trigger Happy's a ladies' man. Maybe the lawsuit might have affected him. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this animation was made shortly after the Activision lawsuit happened, and where the Activision lawsuit, yeah, where it was kind of a boys' club, like a bit of a sausage fest, and the ladies weren't treated. In fact, one Activision Blizzard employee harassed another one so much that she committed suicide. It's very sad. And I think this is why Activision Blizzard begged to be bought by another company to help help things be re-established, help things polish up, refurnished, rehabilitated, and other things to make them a better company again. And with Microsoft finally buying all of Activision Blizzard, that's one. It's one step, but then there's another. But then, of course, there most of a good chunk of their employees got fired earlier this year, including nearly half of Toys for Bob. Hence why they lost their studio, and most of the employees are working from home. And now the company is gone independent, working on a brand new game. Is it Skylanders? Is it Crash Bandicoot? Is it Spyro? Is it a completely brand new IP? Who knows? And next up is Libra, which is represented by weighing scales. Now whenever I think of weighing scales nowadays, I think of something automatic, like a machine. So that's why I often use robots to represent Libra. And two Libra characters two robots that came to my mind are Gearshift and Magnacharge. For Gearshift, because she's well balanced. She's drinking diesel, and it says here, Libra, those born in these skies are, I cannot say this is completely dirty, it's naughty, I cannot repeat what this is, that's why I had to censor it. And Gearshift, she's so sad that she ended up letting herself go. And Magnacharge is like, how does she do it? Is it, here's to how Gearshift is able to eat organic food without short-circuiting. She either has organic organs, just like General Grievous. Does she have a portal inside her? Once she eats it, the portal transports the food someplace else? Or it's just Beast Wars logic. No, really, if you've seen Beast Wars, despite the Maximals and Predacons being robotic and stuff, they're capable of eating organic stuff. I've seen Pterosaur eat a little bird. I've seen Dinobot eating a clone of himself. And I've seen Rhinox eating wild bean vines and Rat Trap eating garbage. Which means they... And heck, even in the original Transformers, you see the Insecticons eating some plants, and even the Dinobots were eating fish. And here's another little reference. Something's emerging from a tummy as a little xenomorph. What was happening? Earlier at the fast food restaurant, and order Gearshift, he says, it was in pizza, and he vomits eggs. I don't think I can allowed to show this on YouTube. That's Libra for you. That's my basic understanding of the Alien movies. I have seen a little bit of it, just not much. Okay, next up is Scorpio, the Scorpion. Actually, fun fact: Scorpio is not just represented by scorpions, and he's also represented by other beings as well. He's also represented by a spider, a wolf, I think a lizard or chameleon, a snake, an eagle, a phoenix, as well as a scorpion. Hence why I chose Mesmeralda, Wolfgang, Camo, Pit Boss, Jetvac, Sunburn, and Scorp to represent Scorpio. I heard this sign has like 7 different animal symbols, and it's very unlikely. If anyone who looks like those symbols are born inside will merge into one beast, what are the odds of that? Suddenly, they all merge into one gigantic being. There it is. And Cortex comes in. I guess he's a Scorpio too. He presses the button. Reject Island. All his previous mutants. There's Koala Kong, Ripperoo, Pinstripe, Dingodile, Tiny, Fake Crash, Komodo, Mo and Joe, Rillaroo, and Fake Coco, they are all rejected from his island. An hour later, it seems Cortex has finally taken over the world with his new being. Let's see what parts he's got. Let's see. Jetpack. He's got Jetpack's head, Wolfgang's nose and teeth, Sunburn's wings, Pit Boss's neck, Camo's legs, Mesmeralda's arms, and Scorp's tail. Next, we're nearly there, fellows. We got Sagittarius, often represented as an archer, other times represented as a centaur. But the thing is, though, there's no Skylander that's both an archer and a centaur. There's only one of them. There's only an archer or a centaur. There's no in between. So I had to choose which is the best archer, Robin Hood or William Tell. So the only ones I could represent are the 4 archers that are Snapshot, Flameslinger, Buckshot, and Robo. And the only centaur I could use was Nightmare. So they're wondering, who's the better archer? Robin Hood, the British outlaw, or William Tell, the Swiss outlaw? Legends of the Hidden Temple did an episode on both of them. And several decades later, they're all like super old. See, Robo's a bit rusty and his lights are a little flickering a bit. It means, and his wires are hanging out a bit, and he's got a little prosthetic and adds some patches here or there. There's a bit of a dent. And Buckshot is like super hairy. He's in a wheelchair. Snapshot's like super skinny. He's all wrinkly and stuff, but he's got a walking stick. Flameslinger is now hunchbacked and shortened. And Nightmare, she has to have a wheelchair for assistance. And she's also a little shriveled. A little bit later, they all passed away, and they're all ghosts. There's their graves with their names in the rain, just like that. Oh, Flameslinger has the... Oh, never mind, so too soon. Let me know in the comments, fellas, who's the better archer, Robin Hood or William Tell? Or is there another type of archer who's better than them? Now, here's a special one. There's a bit of an ad. There's a special one. This one, they say, is also part of the horoscope. Some say it was originally part of the horoscope but got demoted. In fact, some say it was originally supposed to take up Scorpio was only supposed to take up a week, while this one took up the rest of the time, and the dates for Scorpio came at a later time. So enter Ophiuchus, the snake bearer. Now, since I used up a ton of snake Skylanders, I decided to just use a rattle shake. Although I probably should have also included Cobra Kadabra and Chaos's mother, because Cobra Kadabra can summon other little snakes, and Chaos's mother can summon fire vipers. You could say she's the true snake bearer. It says here, does this sign even exist? Do people born in this sign? It says, I bet if this paper was damaged, nothing would happen. It's not like anyone in this sign would feel any pain. So Rattleshake didn't take it very lightly. So he ripped it, but he ends up ripping himself. And also this little sign here. And okay, fellas, we got one more to go. The mini-series finale. We got Capricorn, the goat. Some say it's also half a goat, half a sheep, but mostly just a goat. So she's typing, oh, what's that? There's Splat, she just busted through the door, and there's Zap. Yeah, she's like waving, and she punches her in the face. Cynderscope by Cyndee Louper. Cancelled. And she's in her bathtub. In fact, the reason why I had Splat and Capricorn as Splat and Zap as Capricorn is because Splat is a fawn, which is half goat, and Zap, he kind of looks like a goat, and he's also a sea being, and Capricorn is often represented as half goat, half sea fish. And according to this, it says the real Cyndee Louper is none other than our favorite dragon to hate, Cynder. She's what caused all of your misery with these horoscopes, as well as those phony presents a few Christmases ago. Now she gets what she truly deserves. All her wrongdoings are eliminated, and all of this magic paper is destroyed and never to be seen again. So yeah, so basically that's what happened. The paper is destroyed. She's having a nice bath. And Cynder, what does Cynder get in the end? She starts looking at a toad that says the cringe toad. It's basically the holy toad, where the baby sunk at the back of the mother, and then just these holes, these very cringy, trypophobic holes. Oops. You should not look that up. If you do, you probably will get the same thing I did. Don't make the same mistake I did. I was gonna have Cynder being enforced to listen to some other oldie music like bum bum ba ba da bum ba dum ba da ba da bum ba brum bum bum dum bum dum bum dum bum dum bum bum. I mean, I had her listen to ba-dum 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 ba-dum, and she did not take it very likely. Oh, actually, no, that wasn't it. She was listening more to bum dum 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 bum dum. She didn't take it very lightly. Like I said, she prefers something a bit more poppy, like Senorita, Senorita, or something more like Dojo Cat or Megan Thee Stallion. And no, I thought it was getting a bit overdone, so I decided to have her stare at that holy toad for a bit. So yeah, fellas, that's my thing of Cynderscope. Basically, my take on Truth or Red, as well as other episodes with the newspaper plot, like Ponyville Confidential, the crusty. I'm trying to remember, what was that? Crusty Paper or something like that. The Krabby Chronicle, that's it. The Krabby Chronicle, Ponyville Confidential, Scoop Up the Century, and the Poop Scoop from My Gym Partner's a Monkey. That's my inspiration to make a newspaper story like this. Our Proud Family did something like that, and I probably should have used the Proud Family instead of Ed, Edd and Eddy from my Legends of the Hidden Temple crossover with the smashed printing parade of Frederick Douglass. Anyways, thank you for joining me with this commentary. I'll see you all in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed this video.